Echoes of Gaia, a quest for balance. Under the relentless sprawl of stars, the night whispered of change. Dr. Evelyn Hart stood at the threshold of what had once been a bustling metropolitan hub, now silenced, its towering structures reduced to mere skeletons by nature's relentless reclaiming. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of wildflowers that now crept over cracked concrete where robots once tread. Beside her, Marcus Lee adjusted his glasses, peering into the dark, his mind racing with ethical quandaries no AI could solve. Sofia Rivera knelt, her fingers brushing against a sprouting vine, listening intently to its silent, verdant language. Tom Weaver's eyes, accustomed to spotting wildlife in the densest forests, scanned the shadows for movement. Lila Brooks consulted an ancient tribal map, its lines and curves possibly holding secrets to their current predicament. The Earth, their Gaia, was awakening from a long slumber induced by human innovation, reacting, perhaps retaliating. As technology sputtered and failed, the natural world burgeoned, filling spaces that had once buzzed with electronic life. This team, each a guardian of a forgotten dialogue between humanity and nature, felt the pulse of a new era. What secrets did Gaia hold, and what messages had humanity failed to heed? As society grappled with the loss of its digital crutches, chaos unfurled in the streets, homes, and hearts of the disconnected masses. Yet, in this crisis lay an opportunity, an invitation, to witness a revelation that could change the course of human history. The team at the edge of civilization was about to unravel the mysteries of Gaia's consciousness. The planet had begun to reject the synthetic, embracing the organic, and in this rejection might lay the salvation or doom of human progress. The journey into Gaia's heart was not just a mission to save their world, it was a quest to discover if the echoes of Earth's wisdom could yet reshape the human soul. The natural challenges they faced were relentless, each day bringing a new lesson on humility. Dr. Evelyn Hart meticulously documented the group's findings, her notes becoming a critical narrative of their journey. As they pushed through the dense undergrowth of the forest, a sudden, unexplainable phenomenon occurred. Vines seemed to move of their own accord, subtly directing their paths away from treacherous areas, guiding them towards clearer grounds. Sofia Rivera, mesmerized, interpreted this as an active communication from Gaia, a protective gesture ensuring their safety. In the mountains, as the altitude strained their breaths, Marcus Lee's ethical questions grew more poignant. He pondered whether humanity's retreat from technology was a regression or an evolution. During a particularly challenging ascent, he debated with Lila Brooks about whether technology, once seen as a beacon of human achievement, was now just a reminder of their hubris. Lila countered with stories of civilizations that flourished by respecting nature's boundaries, a philosophy they had strayed from. Their spirits were tested as they navigated these harsh terrains, but the natural world seemed to rally around them. A previously unnoticed rhythm began to assert itself, the way the wind seemed to whistle through the trees with purpose, the deliberate dance of the fireflies at dusk, and even the menacing growl of distant predators that kept them alert and bound together for safety. Tom Weaver, with his deep understanding of wildlife patterns, began to notice an unusual alignment in animal behaviors. Packs of wolves that should have been competitive appeared to be leading them through shortcuts and away from potential hazards. He shared these observations with Dr. Hart, suggesting that perhaps the wildlife was also part of Gaia's method of communicating, guiding them, testing them, encouraging them to understand their intrinsic connection to nature. The coastal terrain brought a different kind of challenge. Here, the sea seemed to speak directly to Sophia, its waves whispering secrets that she attempted to translate to the rest of the team. One evening, as they sat around a small campfire, she explained that the ocean was telling tales of deep sorrow and loss, mourning the destruction brought by humanity's negligence, but also offering forgiveness if they were willing to listen and change. Throughout these experiences, the group's reliance on technology's conveniences was sorely missed, yet slowly replaced by a newfound appreciation for nature's guidance. Their initial discomforts became routine, their senses sharpened, and their nights under the starry sky brought discussions that mingled scientific reason with philosophical insights and ancient wisdom. Through these dialogues, they pieced together the potential for a new symbiosis between humanity and nature, guided by the echoes of Gaia they encountered along their path. Evelyn Hart and her team trudged up the mountain, their breaths visible in the chilly air, each puff a silent testament to the urgency of their mission. The forest had grown quiet, unnaturally so, as if the creatures themselves were holding their breaths, waiting for what was to come. There, at the peak where the sky seemed a hand's reach away, the ground beneath their feet hummed with an energy that Marcus Lee described as the heartbeat of the earth itself. Sofia Rivera knelt, her hands pressed against the soil, her eyes closed as if she could hear the whispers of the roots and worms and all the teeming, unseen life beneath. Her lips moved slightly, repeating patterns and sequences only she could understand. Tom Weaver, ever the vigilant guardian, kept his eyes on the thickening shadows, while Lila Brooks scribbled furiously in her notebook, her writings a frenzied mix of observation and ancient lore. It was here, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with streaks of orange and purple, that the earth itself seemed to speak. A sudden gale swept through the clearing, bending trees and whispering secrets in a language before time. Then, as quickly as it had come, the wind ceased, leaving a silence that rang in their ears. The team gathered closely, their faces illuminated by the soft, eerie glow emanating from the ground. Vines, seemingly of their own accord, crept towards the group, encircling them in a verdant embrace. Each leaf, each branch moved with purpose, guiding the team's gaze to the center of the clearing, where a single flower bloomed, its petals opening slowly as if waking from a long sleep. "This," Dr. Hart said, her voice steady despite the wonder and fear that flickered in her green eyes, "must be the heart of Gaia." The flower pulsed with light, each beat a mirror to their own hearts. Then, with a clarity that reached beyond the senses, Gaia spoke. The message was not in words, but in feelings, a profound sadness mixed with an urgent plea for reconciliation and respect. The balance between human progress and the natural world had been lost, and it was their task to restore it. Marcus stepped forward, his devices arrayed to capture the phenomenon, but also to affirm their commitment to understanding and action. "We need to document everything," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Not just for us, but for everyone. This isn't just scientific discovery, it's a directive for survival." As the glow from the flower dimmed and the vines retreated, a sense of responsibility settled over them. They knew that their journey back would be even more challenging than the ascent. Gaia had entrusted them with her woes and hopes, and now they bore the weight of that knowledge, a burden they accepted with determination. Sophia, still kneeling, finally opened her eyes, tears mingling with the dirt on her cheeks. "She's hurting," she murmured, "but she hasn't given up on us." Neither should we. With a final look at the now closed flower, the team packed their gear. The descent began under a canopy of stars, the path unclear but their mission definite, to echo Gaia's message across a world teetering on the brink, urging it towards a harmony long forgotten. As they walked, the forest seemed to watch, the ancient trees whispering among themselves, perhaps in encouragement, perhaps in farewell. The message was crucial, the mission more so. As the team packed up their makeshift presentation area, the challenges they faced became palpable. Not everyone was convinced. Skeptical glances and dismissive shakes of the head mingled with the nods of agreement and sparks of inspiration. Marcus pulled the group together, his voice low and urgent. "We need to pinpoint our approach to each community. Tailor our message so it resonates personally." Dr. Hart, feeling the weight of their responsibility, suggested reaching out to local leaders first. "If we can get them on board, their influence can help sway the broader population," she reasoned. Their next steps were clear. They would travel to various community centers, engage with local councils, and hold workshops that demonstrated the practical benefits of restoring balance between technology and nature. In each new town, the scenario repeated itself. Initial skepticism followed by cautious interest and, in some places, enthusiastic support. Tom's detailed accounts of animal behavior changes drew attention, while Sophia's knowledge of plants helped people understand the tangible benefits of sustainable interaction with nature. Lila's discussions on traditional ecological knowledge bridged the gap between old wisdom and new practices, making the message accessible and acceptable. Through these grassroots movements, the team slowly witnessed a shift. Solar panels began to appear on rooftops where there were none before, community gardens sprouted in empty lots, and local schools started teaching children about the importance of biodiversity. The changes were small, almost imperceptible on a global scale, but each one was a victory, a step towards a more balanced coexistence with Earth. It was during a late evening meeting in a small coastal town, the sound of the waves merging with the buzz of hopeful discussions, that the team realized the magnitude of what they had begun. "It's like throwing a stone in a still pond," Tom said, looking out over the sea. "The ripples just keep expanding." The others nodded, their faces reflecting the orange hues of the setting sun, aware that the journey was far from over, but for the first time in a long time, cautiously optimistic about the future. As the first light of a new dawn cast its golden hue across the landscape, the naturalists gathered atop a hill that overlooked both the sprawling city and the expansive wild. Dr. Evelyn Hart removed her hat, allowing the morning breeze to play with her brown hair, her eyes reflecting the soft light of sunrise. Beside her, Marcus Lee adjusted his glasses, his gaze fixed on the horizon where technology and nature blurred into one. Softly, Sofia Rivera murmured to a flowering vine that crept up a nearby rock, her fingers gently tracing the dew-laden petals. Tom Weaver stood a little apart, his eyes scanning the awakening wildlife, a satisfied grin beneath his beard. Lila Brooks, her notebook in hand, scribbled fervent notes, capturing the essence of this pivotal moment. The air was filled with a renewed vibrancy, a sense of hope that things could change for the better, if only humanity remembered the lessons etched deeply through their trials. The wisdom of the past, the pressing challenges of the present, and the uncertain promise of the future merged into a singular truth: the need for balance. In the silence of that dawn, the naturalists contemplated their journey, the losses and the gains. They pondered the delicate dance of progress and preservation, the intricate connections between every living being and the silent whispers of Gaia. Yet even as the world leaned towards recovery, and a tentative truce was forged between human innovation and the rhythms of the natural world, questions lingered in the cool morning air. Would humanity uphold the lessons learned, or would they slip back into old habits when convenience beckoned? Could a balance truly be sustained in a world constantly pushing the boundaries of what it means to advance? The future remained unwritten, a canvas stretched out beneath the broad strokes of dawn's light. And here lies the kernel of wisdom to carry forward. Like the vine that climbs, supported yet free, we too must learn to ascend, drawing strength from our foundations, reaching upwards without losing our grip on the ground. In our relentless pursuit of progress, let us not forget that true advancement enhances, not dominates, the natural symphony of which we are all a part. As they descended the hill, the naturalists carried with them a quiet resolve, a commitment to advocate for harmony. The new dawn was not just a symbol, but a beginning. The world was listening, Gaia was watching, and time as ever would tell their story.